Do you struggle while teaching new grammar lessons? You have tried a lot of different strategies in your classes, but nothing seemed to work? Always asking yourself, how can I simplify those complicated, boring grammatical structures so that my students can master them perfectly? Well, this video has the answer. My name is Mrs. Hafsa Hajbunwar. I am a secondary school English language teacher and a CELTA certified educator. I am here to share with you some tips for teaching English either as a second or foreign language. So, here we go. If you mention grammar and you see that pucker face on your student's eyes, you recognize that there is something wrong. I agree that English can be difficult, repetitive, full of rules to remember, but that doesn't mean that it has to be boring. Doesn't mean that it has to be all about completing sentences from textbooks or handouts. Come on, with a little creativity, a little preparation beforehand, you can plan grammar lessons which are enjoyable, engaging, and loaded with fun. It's all about gamification. Yes, making your students feel like they are playing a game. Gamification is not only enjoyable to learn and easier to remember, but also it provides an opportunity for your learners to communicate and use the target grammatical structures in context. Also, it involves an equal participation from slow learners and fast learners, since it involves cooperation. They are going to work in pairs or groups. And of course, social interaction in a non-stressful situation. They are going to communicate and use grammar freely between each others. So for this purpose, I've decided today to share with you 6 grammar games. Yes, 6 games that I have personally used in my classes and they worked really well. That's why if they worked for me, they might work for you. All these games are simple, quick, and easy to set up, accommodated to different language levels, as they can be used for middle school or secondary school, adapted to any grammar lesson you are going to teach, and of course, they meet the needs of different learning styles. Visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic learners. All of them, they are going to enjoy and learn at the same time. So, here we go. Are you excited for the first game? Well, it's called coin toss. Interesting, right? The first thing you need to do is to go to Google and download a chart of verbs and a chart of pronouns. Or you can create it yourself in a Word format that you can edit anytime. Divide your students into groups of 3 or 4 and take out some coins from your wallet. In each group, players take turns to toss the coin twice, once on pronouns and once on verbs. Then they conjugate the verb with the selected pronoun. This game can be played with all tenses without exceptions. For example, here I used it to practice the past simple since it includes both regular and irregular verbs. My second game is called Roll the Dice. All you need for this game is to download the dice free template from Google, of course, After that, you fill it with the grammatical structures you're looking forward to practice with your learners. For me, I've used it to practice the use of frequency adverbs with first year classes and time conjunctions with third year classes. As you fill the dice and print it, you stick it, of course, with a scotch tape. After that, you prepare sentences according to the number of your students so that each one can take one. You fold them one by one and put them in a box. In the classroom, you divide your students into groups of 4. Each member is going to take a sentence and only one dice for the whole group so that they take turns to use it. The person who rolls the dice is going to create a compound sentence using the conjunctive adverb on top of the dice. Then, they write the formulated sentences on a free worksheet. The first team who creates 8 correct sentences is the winner. The motivator for this game can be a chocolate, of course, candies, or a +1 for the winning team. My third game is build a sentence. For this game, you need to buy some colored paper and write or print the sentences with the new grammatical structures. This game can be used to practice the use of conditionals and modals. As an example, each sentence must be written or printed in a different color. After that, you cut it and you put each 4 sentences in a plastic or paper cap. In the class, you are going to divide your students into groups of 4. Each group is going to have a cap of words to sort them by color, since each sentence is written with a distinctive color, and then reorganize them to formulate a coherent sentence. It will be fun, believe me. For more creativity, I suggest you buy our Studio Sons Daughters Legos for this activity. On the same way, you write sentences on distinctive colored paper, cut them, and stick them on Legos so that they match them together to formulate a grammatically correct sentence. My game number 4 is find someone who. Do you remember all the information you gathered from your students during your first day of class? You've asked them about their lives, likes, dislikes, and daily activities. Why not turn all these information into a grammar game that you will also let them practice the target language? Write flashcards, about 20, 30 according to the number of your students, and mention find someone who. For example, find someone who likes pizza. You are going to distribute all these flashcards to your students. Each student is going to stand up, turn around, and find someone who likes pizza, for example, to practice the use of the present simple. The question used here is, do you like pizza? So they are going to practice the use of the present simple in the interrogative form. The present simple is just an example. It can be used in the present, past, future, or any tense you'd love them to practice. Game number 5 is called Complete and Sort. This game fits perfectly the use of modals. All you need to do is to write or type sentences according to the number of your students with a gap before the verbs, so that they complete the sentences appropriately. As a teacher, All you need to do is to turn around. Each student is going to take one paper and to complete the sentence with the appropriate model. After that, they stand up and put the sentence in the appropriate function. As you see, I have used popcorn cases as they suit perfectly for sorting games. When they finish, you are going to take papers one by one, read the sentences for your students so that they check whether they are correct or not. My last game is called Rewrite the Sentence. All you have to do is to divide your students into groups of 5 and you give them an envelope for each group. Each envelope has 5 sentences that they have to rewrite them using the new grammatical structures they have studied. It can perfectly be used for practicing the passive voice and reported speech. As the game starts, you divide your board on 4, each part for each group. All they have to do after rewriting the sentences is to write them on the board. Each student has the right to write only one sentence. The first group who writes 5 correct sentences on the board is, of course, the winner. So all I advise you by the end is to keep your instructions simple and clear so that your students understand what to do and what not to do during the game. If you see that they are still hesitating, please model the game. Do it yourself so that they know what to do. Also, please set time before the game begins so that they know how much time do they have. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it depends on the time allowance of your lesson. Also, please try to group your students properly, making a variety in each group between fast learners and slow learners so that you give an opportunity for slow learners to learn and practice the new grammatical structures with the fast learners. These are the most important things I love to add before ending my video. So I hope you've enjoyed these games and I hope you'll try 1, 2, or even all the 6 games with your classes. I'm sure if you try them, you'll love them, believe me. So if you have any questions, anything you'd love to ask me about, anything you have learned from this video, please leave me a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.